Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So I'm going to show you how this board works, and I'll show you how the map works, etc. So you're going to fill this up with tiles. Now each of the tiles on the back will say A, B, C, or D. You will shuffle up all the A's together, all the B's, all the C's, and D's, and then you'll place all the A's, then the B's, then the C's, and the D's will come out last. That's kind of wanted to show that as you're going through. On a turn is very easy. You're going to pick whatever tile that you want, and you will add it to your ecosystem however you want. There's no placement rules. You just got to touch stuff. And basically what to watch out for, if there's an icon here for an animal, then you will take an animal from the board and you will place it on there. That's really it, okay? So place a tile and place the little animal out. Now the key to it is that when all of the tiles for an area has emptied, then this animal right here will activate, okay? If the dinosaur tracker is here, then the dinosaurs on the board will activate. The dinosaur will move on, and then you will refill whatever spots are empty on the board, okay? So if the game progresses and this came off, let's say the dinosaur is not there, then you would activate the rabbits and the game would continue. The dinosaurs would not activate. If this came off, and then this came off, and then these came off, and then finally you have this, the rats will activate, then the dinosaur will activate, he will move, and then you'll refill the rest of the board, but only the empty ones. So this is not going to be refilled because it was not completely, that column was not completely empty. So that's just an important concept. So the game is very easy. The first thing I do is pick up one of these tiles. If it has an icon on it, you're going to put it into your ecosystem and then put the little meeple thing on top of it. So let's move to the board and I'll give you some more details about what else is going on in this game. So here's your original board that you're going to get. This is your nest. You're going to have, I'm going to lay these flat just so you can see them. You're going to have the 3 different ecosystems, and you're going to have a rat, a bunny, and a frog on here. Now, when you draft these tiles, I've already showed you, you can put them whatever. They can match, they could not match. It doesn't really matter. So if you place this here, then you will place out and fill the icon up. And as the game progresses, you'll start putting things out here, and it will get larger and larger, as you can see, until you have more of this that is out. So if you're with me so far, you can kind of see that this could definitely get a lot bigger here, right? And the icons can match, they could not match. It doesn't really matter, although it does behoove you a little bit to have these things match up here on the board. So this is kind of the situation that you would have here set up, and let's say that that is there. So you might have a whole bunch of these that will come out as the game progresses. Now, if you remember, I told you that those columns would come out and then the animals will activate. So let's zoom in a little bit. I'll tell you about how these animals activate. So if one of the preys activate, it's very easy to do. Let's say the frog, and they all work exactly the same. So you take whatever is next to somebody. If there's a habitat there, then you would place another one on that location. If you had had a location like this, where there was 2 options, he could have went on either side. Think of it as mating. That's kind of what I think of it as. So let's say you had a situation like this with these 2 guys here, and you have 2 options. So if the frog came up to move or activate, this guy could mate here, and then this guy could mate here. And that's how you're going to populate the area. So let's say the rats were to activate next, and I could place a rat in either one of these 2 locations, and then this guy could produce in either one of these locations. And that's one way to get more and more prey on the board. Now, the 2 predators you're going to have on the board are these orange like tigers and these pink eagles. And they're both going to move different ways. Now, the tiger is always going to move 2 spaces. He can move in any direction and change locations and then eat whatever prey he lands on. So I would eat this prey and it would come off the board. If he were to land somewhere that didn't have a prey, like say he landed here stupidly for some reason, then he would starve and come off the board and you would lose access to him. So you always kind of want to leave. And if whatever he goes through, let's say he goes here, 1, 2, then both of these would come off. Now, any location that he passed that had a prey on it that he ate and was not his ending location would repopulate with another tiger. So that's another way to get another tiger on the board. Now, the eagle is going to move a little bit differently. He's going to move up to 5 spaces in a straight line. So he can't move around the board, jig-jag. He go 1, 2, 3. Let's say he wanted to move that far. He would eat both of these guys, but because he ate a prey right here, another one would come out. So that's kind of how the eagles would work in the game. So let's talk about the dinosaurs really quickly when they activate. So what's going to happen is they can move up to 5 spaces. They need to eat the predators, basically. So they need to eat a predator and get to a mountain within 5 spaces. So they can go 1, 2, 3. They would eat the prey and the predator. So those would come off the board. They would gain an egg for doing so for each predator that they're able to eat. Now, at the beginning of the turn, you can always spin these eggs if you wanted to. Beginning of the dinosaur activation to put a new dinosaur out in the nest. Now, in our example, there was already one there, so we could not add a dinosaur there. But let's say on the next time, we had these 2 because I earned that extra one. So at the beginning of the dinosaur activation, I can spin 1 to put a dinosaur out. Then he would try to move around the board. 1, 2, eat this guy. 3, 4, he would come back. That would give me an egg. 1, 2, he would eat this guy. 3, 4, and that would earn me an additional egg. So I would end up with 3 eggs. Well, that's a 5. I would end up with 3 eggs for the turn. Now remember, at the end of the game, you're going to get a point for each egg that you have and a point for every dinosaur in the ecosystem. Most points is going to be your winner. So it behooves you to get these mountains out, and if you get them out and you get the dinosaurs over here, so you can continue to bring out more dinosaurs, but you need to get those predators out. Remember how I told you earlier, the predators are going to move through the board, and for each dinosaur that they eat that they don't land on is going to bring an additional one out. So you need to get those predators out, get those preys out, get those predators out, so the dinosaurs can start eating them. And that's kind of how it's going back and forth is going to go. So when you get as many dinosaurs out, as many predators out, so you can keep dinosaurs fed, but the prey is what the predators are going to eat, so you need that out also. So it's kind of a chain of habitat of what's going on here, and that's how you play Gods Love Dinosaurs.